AM 560, 96.1 FM, and 87.7 FM. This hour of Sports 56 Happy Hour is brought to you by MemphisFarmers.com. Insurance coverage backed by a local agent and a brand trusted nationwide. We are farmers. MemphisFarmers.com.
Check it out right here.
Ladies and gentlemen, and now,
The only man to give death a near Johnny experience. Johnny Harden.
Can I tell you something? Hey man, it might be wet, but it's a dead-gum good. Happy Friday out there, folks. Welcome into Sports 56 Happy Hour. I am Johnny Radio. You know my good buddy Gabe Kuhn at G_Kuhn71. I am at Johnny_Radio. Don't forget to follow us, Sports 56 WHBQ. We're on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, and Instagram. We have a lot to get to today, and we have a lot of fun, and we have some really talented and intelligent guests. I'm stoked to open this bad boy up here in a few minutes with Russell Copeland. He's going to kind of come in here. We usually do the leadoff, but I have some questions I want to ask the NFL players. Are they getting a bad rap? And what I'm trying to say is everybody in their world right now is kind of taking a big old you-know-what on the NFL, and I'm like, what? Wait. Do people forget that Colin Kaepernick kind of started this a few years ago, or am I crazy? Do you know what I mean? And I'm proud of the NBA. I'm not trying to disrespect the NBA, but they got guaranteed contracts. Their careers last much, much longer. And again, I just would like to remind those who are standing on this platform who are punishing the NFL, the Lions also kind of started the movement where they were the first, I think, after this shooting. Were they not? Why? Like, how is it? And I'm just confused. So I got to bring in a former NFL player, a guy whose father, he grew up, a man basically here, got his education at the university just like me. But, man, I'll tell you one thing. I'm not seventh on the list of receiving all time. I'm not Russell Copeland, and I didn't spend 6 seasons in the National Football League as he did. But I'm just wondering, because I watch television, how is it that the NFL is now somehow being vilified when I would like to just remind them, did they not start it? And by the way, why is there sides on right and wrong? Is this realistically where you want to pick and choose your fights? Because it sounds stupid. And again, for those on Twitter who are calling the NFL out and telling them to step up, I would like to remind you to look at what the Baltimore Ravens did. They did this before the NBA. I would like to remind you, Cap started this junt. And I would just like to remind you that these guys have shorter careers than anybody, and we expect them to act like madmen on Sunday but choir boys every which day of the week. And all we do is basically crucify them because we don't like Roger Goodell. I just find that I just wanted to bring that up. So we're going to talk about that with him. But I will have to say, I got to give mad props, and this is going to sound kind of twisted because I'm about to go from kind of, punishing in some ways, you would say. And I wouldn't call it punishing. I would call it, I think it's disrespectful to throw so much shade at an organization because the people that are attached to it. Again, 2 people that I work with, 2 people that I live with and love and respect. One wears the badge, the other is a firefighter. I can promise you, she's the best detective there is. She's the kindest person I know, and I trust her more than anybody in the world. He's got more class in his little pinky than I'll ever have in my lifetime. So, again, they're disgusted by what's going on. Doesn't make the fact that they are a part of, a certain organization that they aren't doing something. Again, I just would like to remind people, I feel like Colin Kaepernick was calling for change a few years ago before he got to this, and I can't believe that people are actually calling out the National Football League. Maybe I'm wrong. I'll talk to my man Russell, but I do have to also say, those out there, by the way, who said, let's just basically say, and honestly, that this was going to do nothing yesterday. I turned off the Twitter because the text line at one point because I got tired of hearing all the negative comments. Nothing will get done. A whole lot got done. Michelle, Chris, basically, I don't even know how to explain this, but Michelle Roberts, she goes in there, Adam Silver, she looks around, they talk everything out, and basically, she's actually the one who basically lays out everything, and they come out with these basic one. These are the specific things that they want. There's an immediate establishment of a social justice coalition, including representatives among players, coaches, and team owners that will cover a wide array of issues, including increased voting access, promoting civic engagement, and advocating for meaningful police and criminal justice reform. And again, me and Gabe were talking right before the show, Gabe. We talked about it shouldn't necessarily be defunding the police department. It should be making them better. They shouldn't have, be able to get a GED and go get a gun and a badge. They should be the best, the brightest, the most well paid. They should live in the communities. They should know how to, realistically, they're like I told you, what was the country? I can't even remember the country where you go through 4 years of training and only like 25% make it. Like, they should be the best of the best because they are representing your city, your town, and they're representing basically everything that your community, I think, you know what I'm saying, envelops.
No question. And what's up, man?
Oh, what's up, brother?
How are you, dude? You doing okay?
Dude, it's been a really busy day.
It's been a really busy week, man.
Man, I've been talking to everybody.
I mean, we're at Friday now.
I've been reading.
Yeah, no, but on your point, yeah, they need to be better trained. I don't know how walking away from an officer equals 7 shots in the back. That should never possibly be a thing. I don't care who's resisting. I don't care any of that. The fact is, 7 shots in the back is not warranted for anybody on this planet, especially when they didn't even know he had a weapon.
And please don't
regardless
sound like
of the situation, it needs to be these people need to be better trained, and they need to be better. Now, that's not to say every single policeman is bad. That's not the truth.
That's what I was trying to say. My friends that I know.
But the truth of the matter is, there needs to be better training and more vetting for these people.
That's actually kind of exactly what they've said. But there is one person I wanted to bring on, and I'm so stoked to have him join the program this earlier. Before I jump on with my man Russell Copeland, I want to remind you, MemphisFarmers.com. That's MemphisFarmers.com. Chad Gallen is your man. Just go to MemphisFarmers.com. I promise you, you'll understand. Now, Russell Copeland, how is life treating you, my good friend?
Man, I'm doing great. How are you guys?
Man, we're hanging in there. I hope you're hanging in there as well. I know that you're busy doing virtual learning with your kids. I've been talking to you a little bit. I know life is the new normal stinks, but it is the new normal. But one thing I did want to get into before I get into the hard stuff, I just wanted to ask you, in all honesty, is everything in your life going well?
Yeah, for the most part. Just watching everything that is taking place this week, guys, and for me, as an African American and having to raise kids and having to have a conversation with my son, my 26-year-old son, and also my daughters with my son, and just have to break it down for him what not to do if he's pulled over by the police. Make sure your insurance is where you can get them. Make sure your windows are raised down. Make sure your hands
10
are
and
up
2. It's just that's a scary conversation, isn't it?
And when I see things that are happening, and especially when I look at our country and look at what happened with George Floyd, and just looked at all of the states and so many different cities that had the riots, that had the looting, that had the marching, that had the protest, and just only a few months later, we're having to talk about this again. So for me, it's heart-wrenching. And yes, it did bring tears because I'm like, It's mind-boggling to me because it's constantly happening. It's happening more often. And we have social media. We have phones. And it's still not stopping. Because let's just be honest. And Gabe, you just mentioned it. You said there's no way that an individual should be shot in the back 7 times walking away when he doesn't have a weapon. So you see the video, I see the video, millions of people see the video, but yet there's no arrest.
It's a tipping point, though.
Yeah, these things go on and on and on. And for me, I have to just break down and cry and say, we should be past this, and we're not. So, that's the way my week has been, and I've been talking to my kids because, if I'm watching sports or if someone's watching sports or baseball, whatever, with their child, now you have to say, why aren't the Yankees playing, or why isn't the NBA playing? And this is something that has to be addressed, and I am so proud of the players that made a stance against an effort to bring attention to the plight that the African community faces.
All right, now this is going to be probably painful too for me to ask, but I need to know the truth, and this is why I bring you on because again, I've never been in an NFL locker room as a player. I've never done anything on a field as an NFL football as a player like you did for 6 seasons, and I just need to know, in all honesty, I am proud, yes, and like you said, today in Major League Baseball, they're getting a lot of glory. Today's Jackie Robinson Day. A lot of people know that it's actually usually celebrated on a different day, but they're doing it on August 28th because August 28th is when Branch Rickey met with Jackie in secret to discuss basically signing him. Also, on this day in 1945, like I said, that's when they met. And then on this day, not too long after that, this is in 1963, August 28th. This is when Martin Luther King had his "I Have a Dream" speech when they marched on Washington. Realistically, I think they said there was like 380,000 people, but if you talk to anybody, there's like 5 million people who were there. But I mean, it's something that was magical. It's something that everybody reads in school. So this is a big date. Major League Baseball is able to celebrate it, basically celebrate. It seems like. How do I say this? Being woke. NBA is doing their thing. Michelle Roberts, Chris Paul, Udonis Haslem, Michael Jordan being the go-between between the owners and the players can't be understated. But the one thing that I did notice, and this is why I wanted to ask you, I feel like the NFL players somehow, again, and the Lions were the first that basically came out and had a talk for 4 hours, canceled practice, and said the world can't go on. Enough is enough. It just seems to me that I look on the side of the NFL, and even Saquon Barkley's talking about maybe like him and Sterling Shepard were talking about not playing a couple games this year. You had the Baltimore Ravens and Steve Buscemi coming out with a 6-point voter plan. All kind, you know what I mean? And this was before Michelle even came out, but I don't see this stuff unless I go looking for it. Do you know what I mean by that? If I wasn't in Baltimore, if I didn't have a friend who's up there basically like, yo, did you see what the Ravens did? I realistically wouldn't be hearing anything about this. And I'm wondering, why does the NFL players seem to get a bad rap when I feel like, isn't Colin Kaepernick the guy who literally was the one who started this years ago?
Well, I don't want to make any comparison because I think it needs to be a unification first and foremost with all of the sports. I think it needs to be all of the sports, and I think we saw a little bit of that yesterday when you see that it started in basketball with the Bucks, and it ended up being the teams, and then it ended up being Major League Baseball, Major League Soccer. Then it was the practice. So I want to make sure that we keep it together and not just single out and say the National Football League is getting a bad rep.
Well, that's what I was mean. Why wouldn't it be something that people would draw on instead? Like I never expected to turn on the television and them football players having to defend themselves. Or of course I understand that they're going to go after Jerry Jones. They always do. And they're like, well, he practiced yesterday. Well, only 7 teams actually missed practice yesterday. Baltimore Ravens also are the only one that I know that came out with that 6-point plan. Again, there are a lot of teams that are doing a lot of things, and this also did start with Cap. But I remind people, NFL players, they have the shortest seasons. They don't have guaranteed contracts, and you see they can cut you like nothing. And again, I understand that you might want to attack a Roger Goodell or some of the owners for the National Football League, but I just think it's a cheap shot coming after the players.
I just think, John and Gabe, I think the major difference for me, and you alluded to, and you were talking about Colin Kaepernick, that he started the movement. And I think the major difference for me is that Colin Kaepernick, after starting the movement,
doesn't have a job.
Ostracized. He has been ostracized. He has been blackballed out of a job. And I'm going to mention Jerry Jones because it's specific to Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys. After Jerry Jones knelt with his team the following season, he said, if anyone kneels
You'll be fine.
or makes any type of action that's kneeling or he thinks that is offensive to the flag, something of that nature, then he would release them. No, he wasn't going to fine them.
That's right. He said he'd release them. You're right.
He was going to release them. So basically that means cut. So when you look at the NBA, the difference for me is that the commissioner supports the players. You don't hear an owner telling a basketball player that if you kneel or you make any stance against racial injustice or social inequalities, I'm going to release you from your contract. So I think that's the major difference that we've seen in the past. So now it's not about kneeling, guys. It's not about wearing T-shirts. That's okay. But now it has to be action. Actions has to be talked about. It has to be a plan. It has to be actions. Now these actions have to take place. And so I like what all of these sports are doing as far as the action plan. The Baltimore Ravens has an action plan. But what I would like to see, guys, I would like to see every individual sport come up with those action plans, all of them be unified with the owners, with the players, with the coaches, and then come out with a plan. Then when you look at football, I want to see what the owners, do the owners have anything to say? I want to see the owners meet with the players committee and say, what are you guys upset about? What are you guys wanting? Well, what are some things you need? Just like the Baltimore Ravens. I don't want it just to be the Baltimore Ravens because that's one team out of 32. I need all 32 teams to be unified with all of the owners to be unified and say this is what the NFL is going to do and each individual team is doing this. Until we can have those type of actions, you're going to have 32 teams going in 32 directions, and it's really not going to be anything done. I need unification for the National Football League.
Man, that makes tons of sense. That's why I brought on my man Russell Copeland. Like I said, legend here at the University of Memphis, NFL, and just a good man with a good heart. He's a family man, a father, and again knows how painful this year's been with COVID to George Floyd to now. I mean, how many names? Breonna Taylor, and now just the most recent one. But Jacob. People are trying to come out there and talk all kinds of crazy stuff. I've been watching, he was tased or blah, 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 excuses. Everybody has them. But, eventually people have to pay for their actions or we're going to find out. I do feel, though, hope because do you think the young people are different today than or even our generation?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think you even see it when you talk about young people, you're looking at the NBA because I've heard some things about what LeBron James were saying in the meeting compared to what the young generation, the younger players were saying.
Yeah, you heard that.
Yeah, and they want actions done. But one thing that I want to say, it's not black against white. It's not against policemen. It's all of us.
It's about humanity.
Racism. Against racism.
Against hate.
Let's make that point clear.
Good
it's not
point.
black against white. And it's not against the policemen.
It's
because you have a whole
hate period.
lot of great policemen, a lot of them, but you have the bad apples. So my biggest point to all of the policemen all over the country is that if you keep a silent mouth, you're just as guilty because these other policemen know they're bad apples. So they have not done a good enough job from the hiring process to the policemen that are risking their lives every day to get rid of those bad apples. That's the point because I would like to sit down with a committee or whomever it is and say, okay, let's get these officers, let's look at this film. What could have been done? Let's look at this video. What could have been done differently than to shoot this individual in the back? What could have been different than to put a chokehold on an individual for 8 minutes and 46 seconds with the last 2 minutes? He's not being responded. What could have been different before we run into someone's house with a warrant that's not even the right house and shoot someone? What could have been done different when you look at Castillo sitting and said, I have a gun, my hands are raised, it's in my glove compartment, but you shoot him in front of his fiance, his wife, his girlfriend.
Yeah.
So these are the things that I'm saying. What could have been done different? And as you guys talked about earlier, we're talking about training, reform or training. So there are individuals that's on the police force that look at that and say, you have to be able to look at that as an individual, as a human, and say, that was wrong. So we need to get rid of those type of policemen, plain and simple.
Amen. I don't think I could have said that any better. Russell Copeland right there just dropped some knowledge on you. It is the truth fact out there. I mean, we need everybody out there to do their part. And again, it's very sad, but I brought it up yesterday, the first baseman, for the Dodgers. his mother, she was way back when an artist, and it's still one of my favorite things. To love, we must survive. To survive, we must fight. To fight, we must love. It just always comes back to that, doesn't it? I love that. Now, the other thing is, it is a wild day. The fact that it is, we looked in the past. The NBA is going to come out. They have a plan to go forward and actually play. I'm wondering, do you think that now that they're going to be like, did they go out and play? Are they going to be able to crown Larry O'Brien a champion and also still do exactly what they need to do on the other side and still feel comfortable at the day's end?
Obviously, of course, and that's what I've been saying the entire week. I was going to support the NBA players if they played or if they did not. I feel like they still could have played and still could have met and still could have came up with some decisions, some actions. But they decided not to play, so I understand that. But my biggest point is it's going to take more than just missing a practice or just missing a game. But what the NBA did, they shut down the league. So when you make a statement to shut down the league, you have to be able to come up with specifics. You can't just simply say, I'm going to miss a day of work because there's social inequality. We have to come up with a plan, and we have to present that plan, and that plan has to be presented to the owners. And the next thing for me is once the owners and the team, they come up with these, we have to put this in the right hands. And who are the right hands? The right hands are the lawmakers. We have to put it to the mayors, to the governors, to the Senate, to the Judiciary Committee, and ultimately to the Oval Office. That's the only way these changes are going to be made, because as we sit here, Gabe and John, once officers even get to trial, how many of them are convicted? How many of them even get to trial? How many of them are arrested? So that's a system that's wrong. So we have to be able to get all of this into the right hands, and that's when we need to see changes. Once we're start seeing some convictions, and we're start seeing less of these type of things happen. Do I think that what happened this week with the players is going to stop racism in one day or one night? No. Do I think that it's going to end innocent Black individuals, unarmed individuals, women, children, and men from getting shot? No, I do not. But I hope and I dream that once all of this gets taken care of in years, that we see less and less and less of it.
Man, I have to say again, Russell's dropping the knowledge, and I think the NBA is also showing you one thing. They came out with Michelle Roberts, with the Players Association, Adam Silver, a bunch of owners, Michael Jordan doing his part between the owners and the players, doing a fabulous job. They actually set out a plan, and again, they showed the power of the players, and not only that, they exposed those who just want them to shut up and play ball, is like I like to say it. It's like a win-win, if you know what I mean. I think they did a great job. Now, I got to ask you on the softer side. Tell me something. What surprise team in the NFL? Because, we got football starting here in a few weeks, and we got practice going down like it's crazy. Who's somebody out there that nobody's really looking at you think that can go all the way this year?
Well, not being biased, I'm not going to say that this football team can win the Lombardi Trophy, but I like the Buffalo Bills. I like what the Buffalo Bills have been, what they've been able to.
Now, do you need to say that you play for the Bills too?
and that's why I want to say I do not want to be biased, but look how many years it's been since the Buffalo Bills had anything to say or you talked about them in a division. It's been the New England Patriots, and I think now is the perfect time for the Buffalo Bills to come up and take over that division over the New England Patriots. And we know what's going on with New England. Tom Brady is gone. Bill Belichick is starting over. You have Cam Newton there. But I just like what the Bills have on defense. They were the number 2 overall team on defense last year. And on offense, they look very well. They got into the playoffs. I think they have some weapons now. They have Stephon Diggs from Minnesota. They have a good running team. So anytime you have an outstanding defense, especially playing up north, when it gets cold, if you have a great defense, then you can win a lot of games. A running game and a great defense, you can win some games. So I think the Buffalo Bills are a team that people are not really talking about, but I think they can do a lot of damage in the playoffs. And that's my AFC team. My NFC team is going to be a team that's been there, been knocking on the door. It's the New Orleans Saints.
Ooh.
I think everyone is talking about Tampa, and they're not just really talking about the New Orleans Saints. I think they've had some incredible losses the past couple of years, but I like this football team. I think they have everything it takes to be able to go all the way. You hear Kansas City, you hear all these other teams, you even hear Green Bay, you hear Minnesota, but you're never really hearing anything about the Saints.
Man, I like that, and the Saints deserve it after the missed call, after There's so much happening with that, basically what we call BS Bounty Gate, in my opinion. And then also Buffalo. Is Josh Allen going to be a realistic franchise quarterback? Well, he's got a guy that can run the 9, and he can throw the damn 9. He can also run the ball kind of like Cam Newton. And maybe you're right. No Tom Brady. The AFC East looks like it's wide open, and the Buffalo Bills could take that bad boy. Russell Copeland, thank you for opening it up, being honest. Thank you for coming up there and exposing just everything and leaving it always out on the table. We're always going to see a little bit of Cope on Wednesday at 2 o'clock. Me and Copeland, check that out every Wednesday at 2 o'clock. You be safe out there, brother.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. We'll be back in 2 shakes. Don't forget one thing. This is Sports 56 96.1. Never forget Memphis Farmers and my good friend Chad Gatlin. That's memphisfarmers.com, 87.7 FM.
Listen online anywhere, anytime at sports56whbq.com.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roof Services. You've heard me talk about how we offer the best products, the best warranties, and the best services for years. Now let's talk about pricing. Pricing should never be the only reason you hire a contractor, but in today's world, pricing is always a consideration. So we suggest you get 2 or 3 estimates for your roof replacement from a reputable, licensed, and insured company, and then give us a call. If we can't beat your best price for a comparable roof system by more than $100, we'll give you $100. It's that simple. We are so sure we can offer you the best price, beating all other qualified companies. We will hand you $100 if we can't, and thank you for the opportunity. So give us a call. What's the worst thing that's going to happen? Make $100? Fiveash Roof Services, a proud supporter of Tiger Athletics and the official roofer of the Tigers home team. Fiveash Roof Services, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Fiveash Roofing is what we do. We're here for you.
You'll see the dedication in every single step. You'll see it in the smiles when smiles are hard to get. You'll see it in the little things that add up to success. The caring and passion are the things that we love best.
Wolf Chase Limb Brace is your Mid-South provider for orthotics and prosthetics. They are an ABC accredited facility, and their practitioners are ABC certified. At Wolf Chase Limb Brace, their services include artificial limbs, legs and arms, braces of all kinds, and custom molded inserts. You can call them today at 901-507-7821 for their location on Highway 64 in between Germantown Parkway and Appling Road, or visit them at their new location in Jackson, Tennessee. That number is 731-660-5900, or visit them on the web at wolfchaselimbembrace.com.
Wolf Chase Limb and Brace.
All 75 months at 2.99 APR, G4 LHFO 7857, Outlander LU 029538, Eclipse LZO 15617, includes all rebates and incentives. PF 59875, excludes tax title and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through the end of the month. Dealer stock only.
It's time to fully charge your summer with great savings from Gossett Mitsubishi on the Pike. You'll find 0% APR for 60 months, plus $500 cash back. Drive your ambition in a new 2020 Mitsubishi Mirage G4, $139 a month, or buy for $12,435, 41 MPG Highway. 2020 Mitsubishi Outlander Sport is ready for any adventure at $229 a month, or buy for $18,573. And cross over to summer in a 2020 Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross, $19,107 or $229 a month, backed by a stellar 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Mirage G4, $139 a month, Outlander Sport, $229 a month, and Eclipse Cross, $229 a month. Get to Gossett Mitsubishi today, 1870 Covington Pike, or shop online at memphismitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
Are you drowning in IRS tax debt? Get ready for a toll-free hotline. Take advantage of new IRS tax forgiveness programs. Call Civic Tax Relief for free information now. 800-841-0908. 800-841-0908.
Welcome back to Sports 56 Happy Hour with Johnny Radio.
Kick it over here.
This hour is brought to you by memphisfarmers.com. Insurance coverage backed by a local agent and a brand trusted nationwide. We are farmers. memphisfarmers.com.
Yo, welcome into a little Sports 56 Happy Hour with your good buddy Johnny Radio. Of course, I'm your good buddy. Why? Because I like everybody. I love everybody. I hope you're doing good. You know, we got sports going down. The NBA is going to be back Saturday. They're going to start rocking and firing. They've also set up so many justice, reforms. They're actually making progress. And I do want to also reiterate that I love what Doc Rivers said, that while Michelle Roberts, Chris Paul, Michael Jordan, Udonis Haslam, the owners, while we're bringing all this money back together, I love what he said, because he's one of the guys who was like, it's hard to love the world when the world doesn't feel like it's loving you back. But he also came out today and he says it's not the NBA's job to solve the world's problems. It's the NBA's job to be part of the world. And I got to say, man, I just dream of the day where we get back to where we can all be playing. But I would also like to remind you that today is literally, on this day, August 28th, 1963, the March on Washington happened, and Martin Luther King Jr., he gave the I Have a Dream speech, with everybody has read and heard. And I do also hope to God that not only can we get back to sports, but I do also hope that his dream that was first uttered in 1963 can, in 2020, become true. Maybe at the end of this year, it can actually people will actually care more about the content of your character instead of the color of your skin. We'll actually find out. But it is Jackie Robinson Day in baseball. Congratulations. Baseball is glowing in their I love Jackie Robinson Day. And the reason they're not doing it, because we didn't play baseball in April. But you know why we're doing it today? Because on August 28th, 1945, this is when owner Branch Rickey and Jackie Robinson held that secret meeting where they actually talked about him being the first player, and can you handle it? And Jackie was like, I can do it, and I can turn the other cheek. And again, from where that was, and by the way, that was 1945. Look at where we are in 2020. I'm not saying that we're perfect, but we are better, and I think we're going to keep going in the right direction. But the direction I want to talk about is with my good friend David Cobb, who I found out is a good big Tiger fan today, even though he's a UT grad. But y'all know David Cobb, CBS Sports. Hey, what's up, David? How's life treating you?
What's up, Johnny? I'm doing all right. Just living the life.
Living the life, man. I wish that was the way it was, but I will say it's fascinating because, basketball right now in the NCAA, college football, what you cover for CBS Sports, talk about a hard job right now. I bet you almost wish you were working for the Times Free Press covering just the Vols. That seems almost easy talking about Jeremy Pruitt and probably losing to the Tigers and everything, because I heard you were a Tiger fan.
Okay, so honestly, it's like neck and neck right now, because one poll comes out one day and Tennessee's ahead of Memphis, and then another poll comes out another day and Memphis is ahead of Tennessee. Mm-hmm. So, I really
16, 17, 17, 16, 16, 17. I hate the fact that we can't break 15, either one of them.
Yeah, by season's end, I wouldn't be at all surprised if Memphis does, if you're not counting the teams that aren't playing.
Mm-hmm. Oh, well, I'm not counting the teams that aren't playing. I'm sorry. I can't put Ohio State in there when Justin Fields is collecting signatures and playing like intramurals at Ohio State, because they ain't playing football in the Big Ten and the Pac-12. I really never considered them anyway.
Have you seen this stuff today where maybe they're going to play, the Big Ten might start like around Thanksgiving?
What?
Yeah.
Dude, you know how much stuff I've been reading about the NBA? What are you talking about? You're going to have to fill me in on this one. This is why this is why we bring in David Cobb, one of my very good friends, a great friend to us, Sports 56, WHBQ, 96.1, 87.7 FM. But from the days that you were with the Times Free Press to the Commercial Appeal to now CBS, he's done everything. He also was an intern up here years ago and introduced me to Tinder. Thank you, David. So he's an awesome dude. But you have got to just tell me what the heck you're talking about, because I honestly missed this.
Yeah, well, our Dennis Dodd, who's like one of our heavy hitters in college football at CBS Sports, he confirmed and got some details on, basically, I don't know if it's just that coaches or what, but and a lot of people think that this is just the Big Ten trying to like make good with the mad parents and the mad players and all that sort of stuff, and the mad people in Nebraska who wish they were playing this fall and stuff. But I mean, it sounds like there's at least a legit possibility, or at least a chance, that the Big Ten's new plan would have them starting around Thanksgiving. So I don't really understand. I don't understand a lot of elements to that, but it's a development that's coming today. There's been some calls within, by league officials and league coaches. That's on the table apparently.
Yeah, just now. Thank you. It came out an hour ago when I was prepping for my show, like right before anything. You could have told me that Ben and Dennis Dodd were working on this, David. I did call you. I'm just
I
kidding.
know. Yeah.
No,
sorry.
thank you for dropping this bad
I was
boy.
actually working.
Yeah, no, I know. No, I love you, and thank you for giving us our time. I'm being a smart aleck because But dude, this is ridiculous. So, Dennis and basically Ben Kercheval, Dennis Dodd, they dropped about an hour ago, I think, that the Big Ten. And the decision makers, from what I understand, are they kind of kicking at Kevin Warren's door?
Yeah, I feel bad for Kevin Warren. I think
I do too. That's why I'm asking. Like, because
he's a first-year conference commissioner who's been dropped in the
January.
most brutal position imaginable, and so I'm not sure that I think if he had a little more clout, and kind of had more respect among the members of the conference and the coaches specifically, maybe they wouldn't be in this position.
Wow.
But it's crazy because whenever the Big Ten and the Pac-12 made this decision, I mean, the Big Ten was praised by a lot of people.
Everybody and their grandmother was like, Kevin Warren is now the leader, even though he's been working since January. He listens to scientists, not politicians. Kevin Warren. Hey, I was singing his praises because I thought it took huge cojones to say, hey, look, because the only thing that brings in the money for these, realistically, that brings in huge money for these athletic departments, if we were going to be honest, it's football. And we can look at, oh, wow, that nice little $2 billion at March Madness. They didn't even care about canceling that. Canceling football? That is $10 billion. There's a big difference. Yeah, I can take a fifth of I can, cut me a little bit, but don't kill me. You know what I'm saying? So I thought Kevin Warren was putting players above, profits. That seemed like such a noble thing. But right now, listen, I'm not going to lie to you. The new swab test that's actually cheap as can be, and they can find out in seconds. And now that they say they're going to be able to give it, to the players. Now that the players, if they do get COVID, the SEC, the Big 12, and the ACC all agreed that they're going to have the heart, whatever you call it, the myocarditis test. They're going to, what I'm saying? It's like the plan is
the Big Ten still has not committed to that, which is crazy.
That's what I was about to say. Kevin Warren says we won't play, but we're going to be on campus, and if you get COVID-19, I'm sorry, we're not going to pay for you to have this test. So, even though you go ahead and fill in.
It was hypocritical. That was hypocritical. And so I think in that regard, the parents had reason to be mad. And what everybody thought was going to happen was that the Big 10 or the Big 12, the SEC, and the ACC were going to have to follow suit. They were going to be forced to follow suit. But here we are. I mean, we're less than 3 weeks out from the SEC opening.
We're talking about Big Ten starting up here in 3 months? Trying to get in before the championship, maybe?
Yeah, but I'm talking about how we got here. And how we got here is that I think the Big Ten and the Pac-12 assumed that those other leagues were going to have to cancel their seasons and do the same thing because of the numbers. But, I mean, we've seen in the ACC, literally North Carolina State going online.
Yep.
And in some cases, having students move off of campus, and yet they're still planning to play football. The problem is that there is nobody left to tell those other leagues not to play. And so the Big Ten is, and its people, the people in the Big Ten are so football crazy that they're basically just pointing at the other leagues and saying, well, they're playing, Kevin, why can't we? And it's created a lot of problems for the Big Ten.
So, by the way, if you don't know, January 11th, 2021 is when they have the championship scheduled. It looks like, from what I'm reading from Ben and Dennis Dodd, that they want to, the Big Ten is trying to find a way. And it says that in the article that they are looking for all options to somehow resume football. And if they do that, they are trying to signal to, I guess, the rest of college football. I don't know who they're trying to signal to necessarily, that they want to resume football. And if they do this and they can get in before, the championship game, will they be considered? Absolutely. I think the Big Ten would be considered. My question is...
Not if they start at Thanksgiving. The only way they can be considered is if they start on time.
Well, they say August 11th. They said if we start on August 11th, we could actually get in just ahead. They would only be 10 days out, to finish the season before the championship game. They're not going to have the week 3 weeks off like other football teams would.
I'm sorry, but the ship has sailed for the
Ship
Big
has
Ten and the
sailed?
Pac-12, and I know that's their fans are just
They're crying right now. You know that, right?
Too. Yeah, I mean, you would be mad because look, what's going to happen is you're going to have a college football playoff, and I genuinely wish and believe that the AAC is probably deserving of having a team get in. But let's be honest, what's going to happen? There's going to be 2 SEC teams, a Big 12 team, and an ACC team. So probably in all likelihood,
I agree.
Georgia, Alabama, Clemson, and Oklahoma in the college football playoff. And if you're a Big Ten fan, or you're an Ohio State fan, or a Penn State fan, or a Michigan fan, and you think that your team has a shot at getting in, well, they're going to go on and have that thing without you. I'm sorry, but unless you start your season when these other teams do, I mean, it's just you can't expect to be considered for it. I mean, even if they start on the beginning of November, say they start at the beginning of November, not at Thanksgiving, I mean, they would still have to play something like 8 games in 8 weeks to come close to the number of games that these other leagues are probably going to play before the college football playoff. It just doesn't work. It
just
doesn't
work. No, you're right.
Yeah.
So right now, the Big Ten, while they're like obviously looking for every option to play, David Cobb, unequivocally feel like basically Hasta Mañana college football has left the port, and you're not going to be a part of it no matter what the hell you want to do.
Yeah, exactly right. And so I think all the attention now should be on if the Big Ten and the Pac-12 have to do a spring season and they want to do a spring season or
that's insanity.
Start at Thanksgiving or whatever they want
to do. You can't do
it
that.
Doesn't matter. I'm fine with it. It would be more football. That's cool.
I'm down with that, but what I'm saying is I guess what I'm trying to say is if you have somebody that's looking to play in the next level, how could you ask him to play that much football from January till the draft, till how many games they play in the season, which also ends, by the way, at the end of the year. You know what I'm saying? Like you're talking about kids playing 26, 27 games. That would just that'd be insanity.
So, I mean, those leagues are going to be without a lot of their stars either way. Even if they start at Thanksgiving, there's still going to be more players that opt out. And then the other deal is that, let's just make sure we do this in a way that doesn't disrupt the 2021 season.
Yes.
Let's just have this be a one-year issue. Because let's say the Big Ten and the Pac-12 try to start in February or something and go until May, heaven forbid, then you're having to turn around 2 months later and start fall camp. That doesn't make any sense. So that's my thing is if y'all really need to try and do this in the spring, please just do it in a way where we don't disrupt next season.
Golly, I have to say one thing. Thank you, David, for bringing a little bit of sanity to me. Also, thank you for making my heart almost jump in my chest. Like, what? You
don't have myocarditis, do you?
No, I don't think so. I just think I like chilling like a villain, and I get stoked about football. And like when you were saying, like the Big Ten was trying to discuss playing around Thanksgiving. At first, I was trying to figure out how this could actually work. I'm fired up. I want to see what Justin Fields has got because I just feel like Ohio State does have a team. You know what I mean? I would love to see a little Justin Fields, some Trevor Lawrence. I'd like to see what Bama's got. I'd like to see what Georgia and Oklahoma, always with Lincoln Riley, put something great up on, So I think we're going to have good football. I'm not worried about that. I think we're actually going to crown a champion where, again, months ago I wasn't so optimistic. But it is amazing to see how Kevin Warren went from hero to zero in 3 weeks.
Yeah, and he could still end up looking smart if those other leagues have
history will, if a bunch of people get sick.
I still don't think, though, that there's anybody who's going to tell those 3 power leagues that are moving forward that they have to stop. I mean, the presidents aren't going to be the ones to make that decision. Honestly, what it's going to take is something tragic. And the numbers are such that a lot of college football players have had this, and knock on wood, thankfully. None of them have had the complications that some of the experts they might in terms of, I think the Indiana or offensive lineman was one that kind of probably had an influence on Kevin Warren's decision. He had to be hospitalized, but you think about the hundreds and the thousands of college football players, the fact that we really only know of 1, maybe 2 hospitalizations. That's encouraging, but I still think that we're only one tragedy away from this whole thing, screeching to a halt real quick. In which case, Kevin Warren will go from 0 to 0 back to hero for keeping the Big Ten out of it.
Now, I do have to say I'm out of time, but everybody follow him at David W. Cobb. I'm just in shock right now because, I really thought we were going to come on and talk about the fact that there were
Landers and Ollie.
Well, I was going to talk about Landers. Also going to talk about basically the article you dropped about the 3 SEC programs that were among other college football teams in the country, like Oklahoma and Texas, that canceled practice amid the Jacob Blake shooting and stuff like that. Because you did release that article on CBS. There were a few other things that I was going to drop with. And by the way, Landers, yes. And I don't know if you noticed this. Have you noticed all the people who are now big-time Tiger fans on Twitter?
Well, it helps a lot, man. Honestly, getting Ollie eligible, that was viewed as the more difficult hurdle.
Yeah,
DeAndre Williams was viewed as more of a slam dunk than Ollie. So the fact that Ollie got the waiver,
you feel like Williams is going to get it too?
Yeah. So now you got a strong front court. I mean, I know Ollie thinks he's a wing and whatnot, but I'm talking, all right, say he plays a 3, and you got him at the 3, DeAndre at the 4, Musa at the 5. I mean, I'd have to look at the roster, but that gets me pretty excited for what that
Get
Memphis
some
team.
little length, doesn't it?
Yeah, no doubt. And then you got Boogie supposed to be taking a step forward. DJ's going to be back healthy. Lester Quinones had a really good close to the season. So I just feel like it just helps the Tigers tremendously to get Nolly, and even if the NCAA decides not to grant Williams a waiver,
And by the way, I mean, he played in the ACC, by the way. I don't know if a lot of people remember. This is a guy who is the reason we were worried about his eligibility is because he's a Virginia Tech transfer. So
yeah, but I think they made the right choice, though, because in granting him that waiver, because he already sat out.
That's a good point.
His freshman season as a redshirt. So, I mean, they're granting guys waivers far less. I just feel like with Memphis, you just never know because the NCAA doesn't like to do Memphis any favors. So, I mean, am I right?
I am. I'm just laughing because I know that right now the Twitter hounds are adding on to about how your Tiger love is just ridiculous.
Yeah. Does it come off as me being a Memphis homer?
It does. No, not really to me, but it's funny that the Twitter peeps when they tweet at you and call you a Memphis homer, and I'm like, aren't you a UT grad, David?
No, it's funny. It's funny. The Tennessee people think that I'm like a Memphis guy now, and the Memphis people will never accept me because I went to Tennessee. So I might as well just move to Nashville and start covering Vanderbilt or something because I can't win either way, So
well, anyway,
actually,
David,
I'm just kidding. I would never move to Nashville.
No,
I
know
would never
that.
do that.
Memphis is the baller, by the way, because you don't get the
Yeah.
good barbecue. I mean, come on, let's be real. Now, seriously, Central Barbecue, it's simply the dead gum best, and you know
not even
it.
close.
Not even close. Hey, Cobb, do me a favor. Make sure you just keep balling like you do, and thank you for bringing me I literally had so many different questions about your article, but thanks for dropping what Dennis Dodd and Ben worked on and letting everybody know about what's going on with the Big Ten, because for me, that was completely a lot refreshing and a better segment than I was going to have.
Well, we'll talk again soon, and we'll get to all your other questions.
Hey, be good, my brother.
All right.
That's my friend David Cobb. Always check him out, at David W. Cobb on Twitter. And again, he's covering for CBS. And again, all you people out there who are calling him a Tiger homer, he did go to UT. We'll be back in 2 shakes on Sports 56, 87.7, and don't forget 96.1.
Sports Time on Sports 56 with Wallow and Stats. Weekday afternoons from 3 till 6. Right here on Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7 FM.
Bring on Labor Day. That means fall's almost here, which means we're going to Lowe's. Right now, get the yard prepped and ready with 4 bags of premium mulch for just $10. And why not kick off the season with colorful 3-quart mums, 2 for $10. It's almost Labor Day, so hurry into Lowe's today. While supplies last, U.S. only. Pricing valid 8/27 through 9/9. Product selection and prices vary by market. In-store only. Excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
At Mass Mutual, we know that tradition is the backbone of the Kentucky Derby.
I love your hat. Let's grab a mint julep.
Tradition binds us together. Live Mutual, Mass Mutual.
Save now on your 2021 swimming pool at Family Leisure. Buy now at 2020 pricing and save your spot for the first installation of 2021. Patio furniture 20 to 30% off. Play gyms in stock. Beat the heat with an indoor game table or slate pool table. Pool toys and floats up to 30% off. Family Leisure, Whit Road at I-40, where family and fun come together.
Family and fun come together.
We are Real Sports Talk. Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM, 96.1 FM, and 87.7 FM. As well as online around the world at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere on your phone or tablet by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, tell Google or Alexa to play Sports 56. Wherever you are, stay tuned to Real Sports Talk. Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
Chad Gatlin is your Mid-South Farmers agent, and he's easy to find. Just go to memphisfarmers.com to get a fast quote or call his office at 901-237-1176. And during this wild time we're all facing, know Chad has you covered. Whether you need to file a claim, get a quote, or just talk about what he can do to give you the absolute best coverage at the best price. Chad is a Memphis man and knows the area and that everyone is different, and he will work to make sure you have everything you need and nothing you don't. Get a fast quote at memphisfarmers.com or call 901-235-1176.
Welcome back to Sports 56 Happy Hour with Johnny Radio.
Kick it over here.
This hour is brought to you by memphisfarmers.com. Insurance coverage backed by a local agent and a brand trusted nationwide. We are farmers. memphisfarmers.com.
Thick and thin, I'm your pusher man. I'm your pusher man.
What is up? What is up? Welcome into Little Sports 56 Happy Hour, of course, with who? That's Gabe Kuhn. At G_. I can't say underscore today for some reason. It's driving me nuts. My mouth ain't working, and I didn't even get shot up today with any dental equipment. Anyway, Sports 56, of course, me and Gabe. I'm Johnny_radio. He's at G_Kuhn71. It's Gabe and John. We're going to wrap with his brother Alex here in just a little bit here at 2 o'clock. But we did talk with my good buddy David Cobb. Wowzers. My whole segment, I expected we were going to talk about Landers Nolley II. He did get the waiver from the NCAA. I was shocked, to be honest with you. The fact that he was transferred from Virginia Tech and they admitted immediate eligibility, I didn't see it coming the way that I see my man DeAndre Williams. So now I look at that thing and I think to myself, well, the former Evansville, the Evansville standout, is this a slam dunk that we're going to get Dre?
I wouldn't assume anything.
DeAndre.
I would not assume anything if it has to do with waivers in the NCAA and Memphis. If those three things are involved, I wouldn't assume.
Dude.
But I was surprised they got a
Landers. Please, come on, dude. I've been waiting all day to mention that. I waited till Cobb. And
you would think DeAndre Williams has a better case
chance.
for sure because
Absolutely.
of losing his coach at Evansville.
Thank you very much.
But the NCAA doesn't really care about making sense.
I just can't even believe this. I'm freaking out. You're going to get Dre, in my opinion. He's huge. If they got Landers, which I think is like aces. I don't even know what to think right now, to be honest with you, about Memphis basketball, except for they got athleticism, they got length, they got talent. Musa's already been accepted. We knew he was actually going to be, so I didn't think it was that much. We talked about that on Monday with my good friend Terry Davis. But to the Landers Nolley getting a waiver to play immediately, it feels like, woo, next season, nothing can go wrong. Nothing can go wrong. I'm a Tiger fan, yo.
Think about the height now with Musa Cisse and what they'll have on the wing.
Dude,
they're going to be the tallest. They're going to be the tallest team in the AAC,
plus
and
Lance
hopefully
Lester
the shooting
Quinones,
will come
DJ
along
Jeffries.
with Boogie Ellis and Lester Quinones.
Dude, I'm sorry.
Hopefully,
no,
in year 2, you would think so, though.
I just think that Penny's now got his he's got his wings. He's learned how to fly because you just don't wake up. I know he went to grad school and professional, and he basically got his doctorate in coaching. Because when you play college basketball at Memphis and you play in the NBA and you play with Shaq and you play in Orlando and you play for all the coaches you played for, and then you become a high school basketball coach, yes, taking over your alma mater, there's still going to be a few bumps and bruises. But my man, I feel like he has found his stroke. I feel like, man, his stroke is ridiculous, and he's hitting threes like he's Steph Curry or Dame Time, baby. Actually, Dame Time in the fourth, who's going to be out, by the way. Just so you know, when they do resume play, Dame Time is out. But Landers Nolley, unequivocally, is now already a Memphis Tiger. We are waiting on the word on my man, DeAndre Williams. I think DeAndre Williams, the Evansville stud, I think he will be playing next year. And I think that next year's Tiger team, when they do get those brackets filled out and we play a little bit of hoops, I promise you, I just have a lot of feeling that people around here are going to have Memphis in that Sweet 16 spot. Just my thought. I know my optimism is extremely high today, but how many days do you get Landers Nolley?
I don't know.
It's a good day.
Real quick. Shout out to Ole Miss football for what they've done. They didn't practice today, but they did march. And they had this to say: as the Ole Miss football family, we are committed to change. Police brutality and other injustices occurring across our nation have to end, and our team stands united to embrace our diversity and promote a culture of peace, equality, and understanding.
By the way, Kentucky also withheld from playing. You also had other things: Boston College, South Florida, Texas, Oklahoma. You had a bunch of people out there, again, who are doing a lot of good things. But you know what? We're coming back strong with my man Gabe's brother, Alex, on the other side. Sports 56, 96.1, 87.7 FM.
Chad Gatlin is your Mid-South Farmers agent, and he's easy to find. Just go to MemphisFarmers.com to get a fast quote or call his office at 901-237-1176. And during this wild time we're all facing, know Chad has you covered. Whether you need to file a claim, get a quote, or just talk about what he can do to give you the absolute best coverage at the best price. Chad is a Memphis man and knows the area and that everyone is different, and he will work to make sure you have everything you need and nothing you don't. Get a fast quote at MemphisFarmers.com or call 901-235-1176.
Hey everybody, these new Chevy Open Road deals are spot on for fall right here in Olive Branch at All Star Chevrolet. And I'm telling you, you could save thousands of dollars and get that new Chevy you want today. Blazers, Equinox, Impalas, Camaros, get an all-new Corvette. Treat yourself. And more all-new 2021 Tahoes are on the way. Come pick out the one you want before it even gets here. And I'm looking at more new Silverados than you'll find anywhere. Come drive one. Drive them all. And don't forget to check out the certified pre-owned Chevys. If you don't find exactly what you want, tell them here at All-Star and they will find it and get it here fast with the best financing for everyone. Remember, it's not the Pike, not Collierville, not South Haven or Mount Moriah. It's gotta be Olive Branch, people. And everybody at All-Star Chevrolet has one job: to make sure you get a better deal, have more fun, and in record time. So find new roads to Olive Branch at All-Star Chevrolet or go check them out online at allstarautogroup.com.
It's the Summer of Performance event at Acura of Memphis. Acura's entire lineup sets the luxury and performance standard, like the award-winning sedan, the Acura TLX, or the 3-row 7-passenger SUV, the Acura MDX, or Acura of Memphis's top-selling luxury crossover, the Acura RDX. Aggressive pricing, customized lease options, and low financing rates are at Acura of Memphis. Don't miss these deals. Visit AcuraofMemphis.com.
Ready to take on that painting project? Ask Sherwin-Williams and get 35% off paints and stains with sale prices starting at $25.02, August 27th through September 7th. With 35% off our exceptional paints and stains, you can give some color love to your bathroom, living room, or every room in your home. Shop in store or order online for curbside pickup. Retail sales only, some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Hey everybody, John Stacy of the Blue and Gray Show, brought to you by Wolf Chase Honda. Guess what? Football's back and so are we. The Blue and Gray Show now entering our 6th year. Drew Barrett and I have been doing this, and we're bringing you some of the best Tigers through history. We've had them all on our show, and we're going to continue to do that. And you never know who will show up on the Blue and Gray Show. That's the Blue and Gray Show, brought to you by Wolf Chase Honda, right here on Sports 56 and 87.7.
I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. I Buy Houses. I Buy Houses will buy a house in any area in any condition. And yes, it's guaranteed to close in 5 days. If you need to sell your home quickly, call 901-406-1101. If you've been through a divorce, if you lost your job, if you're tired of renters, iBuyHouses can get you your money quickly. iBuyHouses will buy your home in Shelby County, DeSoto County, Memphis, Bartlett, South Haven, Horn Lake, Olive Branch, anywhere and everywhere in between in any condition. And yes, they're open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. iBuyHouses, 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. Grab that pen, 901-406-1101. iBuyHouses.
Got something you want to get off your chest?
You better have a backup plan.
Want to join the conversation?
Someone needs to tell him he has to grow up.
Join us on the First Bank phone lines at 360-8255 or the First Bank text line at 67129. We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis, WIVG-FM Tunica Memphis, and WPG-FLP Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Now back to Johnny Radio's Happy Hour. Here we go. On Sports 56 and 87.7 FM.
Gotta wear that coat. Today's a coat day.
More of a
rain
jacket. I say
whatever you
jacket
call it.
day.
Yeah, coat day, jacket day. Are you one of those? We're in the South, brother. It's Coke.
Coat? No.
And it's a Coke.
What?
It's a like
you saying
everything
Coke or
is
Coke?
like so when you go to a restaurant, you say the lady goes, "What do you want to drink?" And if you don't say a beer, you say a Coke, and then she says, "What kind?"
No, I've never had that experience here. You're just making that up.
That's just
that
the
is
way it
literally
is.
made
No, that's
up.
a fact, Jack.
No, you're making that up.
Okay, can I ask you a question? How long did you work in the service industry?
Look, man, I'm not going to argue this with you. If I go to a restaurant and I ask for a Coke, they bring a Coca-Cola. They don't say, what kind of Coke do you want? And then I say Sprite.
Every
That makes
single
0 sense. That is just so ridiculous.
Only Yankees are the ones that actually
Yankees.
Only
God.
Yankees.
Freaking Yank. Go home, you Yankee.
Oh, I love making people laugh, and I hope everybody knows at 67129 you can jump in and be a part of the show or watch us at Sports 56 WHBQ on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, and Instagram. You can hit the show up there, and you always remember we're looking pretty good because of the Family Leisure Studios. And the Family Leisure, by the way, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. They're rocking, they're rolling, they're doing their thing. You can get it right now because it's getting close to the end of summer. Believe it or not. I know it's still hot. I know it's still humid. And deadgummit, those mosquitoes. Like I'm telling you, I know people say they're the Arkansas state bird, but I think one of them tried to get my dogs the other day. Well, you could say it did kind of fly across from Arkansas. But anyway, mosquitoes are still bad. But at Family Leisure, you can get 30% off any of your pool toys. You can get 2020 pricing for 2021 and have them install it right at the beginning of the year. So next year you're just chilling, hanging out with your new floaties. How many floaties do I have to get you, Gabe? Like I only need one. How many do you need?
I mean, what kind of floaties are we talking?
Like
Like you probably still put the ones that wrap around your arms.
No.
You probably have those, don't you?
By the way, at Hardinwood today, I got 2 floaty stories. I'm only going to tell one because one actually has a bad ending. But there is a floaty story
if we're talking
that saved somebody's life off the coast of Greece 20 miles outside the ocean. I'll be telling that story.
If it's a normal noodle, like a normal sized noodle.
A normal noodle.
I need at least like 3.
So not the Magnum, not the big one. That's what
the Magnum.
Isn't that what it's called, the Magnum?
They're just called it. It's a big noodle, okay?
No.
I think you call them a Magnum.
They've always called it the Magnum, I thought.
You're extra.
Dude,
you are wholly extra.
I promise you. They've always said, do you want a regular noodle or would you like the Magnum?
No, they don't.
Yeah. Like, dude, imagine Vanna White. Dude.
No, we're talking about pool floats. They don't give you it. They're like, do you want a normal noodle or the Magnum? No, dude.
Okay.
It's made up.
Oh, I disagree again. I disagree with you again. 67129. I also think that you say, what would you like to drink? A Coke.
Get Alex on here.
Ask you what
Get
kind
Alex
of Coke
on
you
here.
want.
Alex, what's up, man?
I
I'm doing all right. I just I didn't know that there was such thing as a Magnum full service.
Well, according to John, that's what I call it.
Dude, I'm telling you.
When it's bigger, you know.
Let me just tell you something. If I was the one that worked in that's how
Scott, when it has more girth, is what you're saying? When it's girthier.
Yes, much more. That's how I would sell them. I would have like a big old sign, like, you know. Like, you know, I would make sure that they bought the more expensive one. Nobody's walking out with the normal size noodle in my shop.
Let me just say, if I'm in a pool, I need one Magnum.
Quit.
3 normal noodles.
Can we put it to a professional broadcaster, Mr.
God.
Alex Kuhn? It is Friday, if you can't tell.
At Alex Kuhn 523 on Twitter. Wow. Oh God, how do we even get back on schedule here? I literally have tears out of my eyes.
We
right
have to
now.
pass this over to a professional broadcaster.
Oh my God, Alex, what's
talk to
up?
us.
Not much, guys. How are you?
We're doing really good here at Memphis today. I can tell you that. We're laughing here.
That conversation just brought my mood up. I'll tell you that.
That was a
I mean,
commercial
Alex, I've been talking to
advertisement.
you all week where it's just like, man, it is, this week, for the most part, I hate to say it, it's been a drag. It really has. All the news coming out, and it's just all the social unrest, everything else.
We have social unrest. We had a terrible hurricane hit the Gulf. We have wildfires in California. We have a pandemic going on. It's certainly not a pleasant time. But yes, I appreciate the laugh. We'll take it anywhere we can get it. Thank you, John.
Oh, you know, again, I always try to make sure that no matter how serious we get here on Sports 56, that we make sure we have a good bit of a little bit of fun. You know what I'm saying? And again, sports are always, as Doc Rivers said earlier today, he said we're not supposed to change or solve the world's issues. We're supposed to be a part of the world. And again, I want to be a part of the world. I want to bring attention to issues, but I also want to make sure that people can also remind that, you know, to love and to be happy, like, you have to feel good. You have to have a little bit of joy in your life. And as serious as we do get here on Sports 56, no matter what, in 2 hours, I can promise you, if I don't make you laugh, I don't think I did my job. But I will say, as rough as everything's been, who are you more proud of? And what I mean by this, and I hate separating things. I'm not trying to, like, give credit to or anything. What I'm trying to ask you is, though, not necessarily who are you more proud of, but how did we get to a point to where Kevin Warren is now a villain? The NFL, and again, I want to remind you, Colin Kaepernick started this years ago. Yes, the NFL owners are different, but Steve, Bisciotti, whatever he is, like Steve Bisciotti, came out with Baltimore and had the 6-point plan about how their team is going to make sure that they fix voter registration. Again, the NFL players, they're doing their part, but it's like on Twitter or on television even, which I couldn't believe it, on their own damn network, they were getting, chomped and saying, why can't they be more like the NBA? Listen, I know that they don't have Black Lives Matter on the court in the NFL. That's not going to happen. The NBA did do that. The NBA did stop Holt. But I'm just asking you, like, how is it that we go in 3 weeks from putting Kevin Warren in the Big Ten as a hero, also making Colin Kaepernick look like a zero, and now we hold him up as a hero, but then again, we forget about him when the NBA comes out. It's like this, like, everything is so up and down. Sometimes I get lost.
Yeah, see, this is a good point. Like, I know that narratives, for some reason, they like drive everything in 2020, and I can't keep up with them.
I know what you mean.
So many times you look at narratives and they're frail. They're not standing on any basis of fact, and they're a lot of times they're a conversation that's been hijacked and turned into a different conversation. And so, yeah, like, you look at right now, and I think there's sort of this tug of war between people who want things the way that they were and people who want to move forward in 2020. And you're seeing some people dealing in reality, and you're seeing some people dealing in nonsense. And the nonsense is getting louder, but so is the reality. So both sides are very loud at this point. and it's causing all kinds of problems. And what happened in Kenosha, I thought, was the tipping point for everything that has gone on with the NBA, where you saw an unarmed black man get shot 7 times in the back, and then the next day a 17-year-old kid shoot 2 protesters and then walk away without getting arrested. And I thought that at that moment there were a lot of people in sports, LeBron James, Kyrie Irving, just all kinds of discussions going on, like, whoa, what is going on in the world? Should we be playing sports right now? This is scary. This is scary for us. This is scary for the people in our community. This is scary for our country. What can we do about it to help? And then you saw the NBA have the discussion about whether or not they wanted to restart their season. And at first, LeBron James and the Lakers voted no, but the biggest snag was they wanted the owners to get more involved. And I kid you not 10 minutes after that, you saw Steve Ballmer, the owner of the Clippers, come out and release a very
powerful,
very heavily worded statement about action that they're going to take. And then the next day, you saw the Ravens, and then you've seen some other teams step to the forefront. So, I will never lose faith that level-headedness is going to win out, that love is going to win out, and it's another step in that direction when you have powerful people with resources and the ability to affect change for the better, and that's what they're attempting. At least you're not, like you said, you're not going to solve all the world's problems, but you try to affect change in areas that you're actually able to do so.
Now, by the way, when you want to talk about affecting change, I just wanted to bring it up because I know that Gabe, and I wanted to ask him this question, and then I want you to kind of answer after it. Michael Jordan was so criticized for so long, even with The Last Dance, with what happened. But if you listen to Chris Paul, Michelle Roberts, Udonis Haslem, you listen to the players who talk about it, it wasn't LeBron James that was on the phone call. In fact, they said after he wasted 15 minutes of his breath and basically turned off a lot of the younger players, but it was MJ who went to the players, and him and Doc Rivers basically who figured out how it is that they move forward, how that is they bring a list of demands and they present it to the owners, and how they get back on the court and how it actually helps everybody and actually does create change. And I just wanted to ask you, Gabe, did you ever think that Michael Jordan would be, again, as vilified as he was for not speaking up or whatever he said about Republicans buy shoes? He stood up.
It's a new day.
Time.
It's a new day, and I'm glad to finally see Michael Jordan put his money where his mouth is and say the right words and do the right things and make the right actions. But you saw a lot of people through this whole thing. The thing that bothered me is when they stopped playing, when they boycotted games. Everybody's like, "Oh, what are they doing? They're going to come back Saturday. What did they get done?" Well, if you saw a full release today from the NBA and the Players Association, they have a social justice coalition being formed. They're working to convert all arenas in every single one of the
NBA city.
NBA arenas to do the 2020 general election. They're going to be voting areas, and they also have advertisement spots to promote civic engagement and awareness. So it's like they got things done. So, like, I know me and John were in the camp of when they were talking about the NBA restart and Kyrie Irving said what he had to say. We were sort of in that boat of, I think, going and using the NBA platform to your advantage, getting that money, putting it back into the communities is the way to go.
Platform.
But
100%.
It's bizarre how when the boycott happens, you do see a lot of change expedited. Do you think that at this point, the boycotting of games may have been a better way to get your message across than actually playing?
So I think it's a sort of a two-pronged discussion.
Yeah, me too. Because if they didn't go back and play, then we couldn't have had the pause.
Right. And I heard people discussing, well, are they going to sit out the season? And I'm thinking to myself, well, if you're trying to get your message across, not playing games that are going to have millions and millions and millions of eyes on it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. You know what I mean? Like when you get to the Western Conference or the conference finals, and you get to the NBA finals, and your ratings are going to be through the roof, and you're going to see millions and millions of people watching your games, and you've taken this time to try to speak out. Like after every game, you hear LeBron James or whoever's playing say something about what they're feeling. And once you get to the finals, like I said, more people watching, you would think that that'd be the best way to get the point across. Now, the problem was LeBron James wanted the owners to get more involved. And to me, to see the about face that they kind of did in 24 to 48 hours tells me he's satisfied, and the players by and large are satisfied with what the owners had to say, with what the NBA Players Association had to say as far as a plan for what they're going to do. And now we're starting to see it. Like you said, Gabe, the polling places in every single NBA arena, the coalition, all of those things were put together because they sat out for a couple of days in the middle of the playoffs. They decided, the Milwaukee Bucks decided that they were willing to forfeit a playoff game to make the point that they wanted to make. So while I think that sitting out a couple days was the best way of getting the point strongly across, I do think that coming back now and continuing to use your voice when the ratings and the stakes are going to be as high as they are is also probably the best way to continue to get the message out.
I see that, and it's just weird, like how these narratives have changed. And again, there's a lot of bad narratives out there that are just so damn tiring at this point. But the Big Ten, you're in Big Ten country. How has the recovery of the derecho been, by the way, in Cedar Rapids and the surrounding areas?
There are a lot of families that are still rebuilding. A lot of everybody got power back. Everybody's trying to get their cable and internet back. That's kind of the next step. But a lot of people have home damage, and there are a lack of resources as far as wood and everything that people would need to patch up their houses. There's also a lack of contractors to accommodate everybody.
It's an
ongoing process.
Yeah, that derecho, it flew basically like under the radar, and it was
from the hurricane.
For people that don't know, it's an inland hurricane, more or less, is what a derecho is, and it hit hard in Iowa and some surrounding areas. The prayer's still out.
For about 120 mile an hour winds for about 40 minutes in place.
Yeah, I hope they get the resources they need and quick. But Big Ten country, they're talking about a November start. Like, I'm somewhat lost with that. I would assume that going while the other teams are basically in playoff mode and thinking about which bowl games they're going to get, and you start your season and it's sort of at the same time as those teams are wrapping up their season, you would think that wouldn't look very good on Kevin Warren, right?
All right, so let's sort what that report was today. We saw a report from Bruce Feldman that the Big Ten was discussing starting their football season the week of Thanksgiving, so the end of November. And then the report came out that it was sort of a pipe dream. It's more likely that they're going to start in January, like we had discussed, but they're coming up with several plans in case they're ready to play by November. So this was kind of the first plan, and then January, and then if they have to push it back, they're giving themselves flexibility in this case. Now, everybody jumped on this and said, look, they're reconsidering playing football in the fall. No, that's not what they're doing. What they're doing right now is they're worried about the fall as far as the coronavirus. That they're worried that we're going to see a huge spike in cases, like a lot of people are predicting, because we're seeing schools returning, college, high schools, middle schools, elementary schools, all of them returning in certain parts of the country. And they're worried that September and October are going to be bad. But as early as late November, that's the earliest that you will see the Big Ten return. More likely sometime after the new year, like had been discussed. They're talking about dome stadiums in St. Louis and Indianapolis and Minneapolis and Detroit as places where they can play some of those games. So that report caused a whole stir. But when you read the contents of it, you realize that they're just coming up with contingency plans as to what they're going to do for this season. And as early as late November and as late January is what they're discussing right now to have a football season.
Can I just ask you, is this about as likely as I'm going to come in here one day and just light up a big fat spliff and do my show?
So
can we ask the question of how likely is that?
Dude, I mean, that's zero.
Just how likely is that? Hold up.
That's zero. That's zero. I love my job. Okay.
So yeah, it's about that likely, but we'll see. It seems like initial plans, and we're gonna have to wait a few more months to find out exactly what they're doing. But they need to start planning now. They need to start coming up with ways in which they think they can do this, and they need to have everybody involved, including coaches and parents and players. Everybody has to be involved.
All right, my other question for you, though, since you are in Big Ten country, what's the likelihood you think we crown a champion at the end of this year? The SEC, the ACC, the Big 12, and those playing football. How much? What percentage do you give a chance that at the end of the year, January, I think is 11th, that they actually crown a champ?
I have no do you know that college football, like, we're supposed to see an FCS game tomorrow?
Yeah.
Isn't Austin Peay playing tomorrow?
Go P. I think they moved that back.
Let's go P.
I thought September. I thought next week was the first games. Is Go P actually playing?
Maybe I thought I saw. This is very, very terrible journalism that I'm doing. I thought we had somebody on our text line say that there was a college football game.
Yeah, P.
Yes.
No, this weekend, P versus Central Arkansas.
They are
yeah.
So you are right. Holy cow!
Let's go P.
Do you want to know something? Why is this not even on TV? They're only going to put it on ESPN Radio.
Really?
Wait, I'm pretty sure it's on TV, Holmes.
At least from on their webpage, it says catch us on ESPN Radio.
It's not even on ESPN.
Hold up. No, it's on ESPN. It's on ESPN.
It'll
be on ESPN.
I went to Go P Central Arkansas's home website. Okay, that's all.
And by the way,
that's
all the Austin Peay fans out there, like, can you tell me, like, if y'all feel somewhat embarrassed about, like, the Let's Go P?
No, they love it. They love it. I
love it because it's funny, but it's like, it's very, come on, man.
You got to wear that as a badge of honor if you're a P fan.
Yeah, you have to 100% say, yeah, I'm down with it. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I got to say, I've had so much fun talking with you, Alex. We always have a great time. Before I let you go, though, I don't know what the Big Ten is doing. It's pretty wild to me about them. I just wanted to ask you, do you think that history will in 5 years, will Kevin Warren be vindicated or vilified?
That depends on this college football season, right? Like,
I'm just also wondering, what about if you're a lawyer and then you go ahead and sue the SEC, the ACC, the Big 12, and Notre Dame for not allowing North Carolina to have players, and then next thing you know, amateurism goes right out the door with college football, and heck, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson becomes the greatest winner of all time. He bought the XFL for $15 million. It could be the minor league, for the NFL. I mean, you never know. I'm just saying, this opens up, at least in my opinion, and a couple of attorneys that I've talked to, that Kevin Warren and the Pac-12 might actually be doing a good thing, because they might actually be saving amateurism for their universities. But the one thing, like I said, if one conference or if one suit goes down and it goes that way, this thing's rolling downhill to every conference. You ain't going to be able to hide.
Yeah, and that's the worry right now for I think the Big Ten and the Pac-12. But yeah, I think that that Kevin Warren's getting a lot of slings and arrows right now for simply canceling the college football season because people love college football. There's not a lot of reasoning with people when discussing the fact that he's doing it because there's a deadly pandemic that is still ongoing, and there are trouble in the Midwest and in states that the Big Ten is in. But I'm still giving it time for people. So in 5 years, yes, I think that Kevin Warren is going to be looked at much more differently than he is right now.
Very interesting, but I do also want to remind you, Memphis plays Arkansas State right here at the Liberty Bowl on September 7th. Don't forget that. I mean, September 5th. And that's next Saturday, by the way. Mark your calendar down, 7 o'clock on ESPN.
Wow.
Hey,
Wow.
Alex, I just had to be funny, and I want to tell you something. I always enjoy our conversations. Every Friday, please make sure you check us out. I hope you go get your 2 tacos and make sure you get your head right because you're about to do a long show, right?
Yep, 4 to 6. Getting ready for it now. Thanks, guys.
College football this weekend. Let's go P.
Hey, do me one favor. Follow him at Alex Kuhn 523.
All right, Al.
And do me one thing, Al. Never ask Gabe to join your show. He might not show up. Be good, Kuhn. I love you, brother. That's my buddy Alex Kuhn. I got to take a quick break. Follow him at Alex Kuhn 523. He also is right now getting ready for his radio show. He's a play-by-play broadcaster as well. So please give him a great follow. He's a super great man. Now listen, we'll be back in 2 shakes. I've already told you. Very simple. Life is full of ups and downs. We've talked about it basically all day. 901-406-1101. You call my buddy Bill at I Buy Houses. A bang, a bang, boom. I just sold your house. We'll be right back. Sports 56, 96.1, 87.7 FM.
Search Sports 56 on Facebook and give us a like. And follow us on Twitter at Sports 56 WHBQ.
Hi, this is John Conway with Conway Services. Is your old energy-guzzling air conditioning system struggling to make it through the summer? As the summer heats up, many old, inefficient air conditioning systems just can't keep up. We know the timing's not always right to replace your air conditioning system. That's why we have air conditioning systems for as low as $79 per month. That's right, replace your old air conditioning system this month for as low as $79 per month with approved credit. And with today's more efficient models, you could be saving money on your utility bill every month. So the next time you have air conditioning problems, call the experts at Conway Services. And you know, with Conway Services, you'll be receiving our award-winning service every time. So call Conway Services, the Mid-South's premier heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric service company at 384-3511. And the first 30 callers with a 10-year-old air conditioning system will come out and inspect it absolutely free.
Call 384-3511. Conway Services. Call Conway today.
Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
Chris Price here for Brian Elder Roofing. The storms we've had over the past several months have been devastating to our communities. The rainy season is ahead. You may have not even noticed the dripping in your attic, water stains throughout your home, or even worse, mold and mildew. Please call Brian Elder Roofing and we will send out our project managers to assess any damage. We will not try to sell you a roof if all you need is a repair. We will measure your roof from outer space. 0% for 60 months, even no payments till 2022 are available with approved credit. If you've noticed missing shingles, water stains, leaks in your roof, call us before you call your insurance company at 867-0303. That's 867-0303, and we will provide a free, thorough inspection of your roof's condition.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
Hey everybody, these new Chevy Open Road deals are spot on for fall right here in Olive Branch at All Star Chevrolet. And I'm telling you, you could save thousands of dollars and get that new Chevy you want today. Blazers, Equinox, Impalas, Camaros, get an all-new Corvette. Treat yourself. And more all-new 2021 Tahoes are on the way. Come pick out the one you want before it even gets here. And I'm looking at more new Silverados than you'll find anywhere. Come drive one. Drive them all. And don't forget to check check out the certified pre-owned Chevys. If you don't find exactly what you want, tell them here at All-Star and they will find it and get it here fast with the best financing for everyone. Remember, it's not the Pike, not Collierville, not South Haven or Mount Moriah. It's gotta be Olive Branch, people. And everybody at All-Star Chevrolet has one job: to make sure you get a better deal, have more fun, and in record time. So find new roads to Olive Branch at All-Star Chevrolet, or go check them out online at allstarautogroup.com.
Now back to Johnny Radio's Happy Hour
Kick it over here. Kick it.
on Sports 56 and 87.7 FM. Here's your host, John Harden.
Gold and shackles, ball and chain. Listen to the whistle of the
Evening train. Oh, I love a little Grateful Dead. I love Fridays. I don't know about you, but I feel good. You know what else I feel good about? If you're some reason like a Memphis fan and you've been under a rock, did you know that Landers Nolley II, that's right, he is now officially a Memphis Tiger? Oh yeah, the NCAA granted him a waiver. He can play immediately. Hallelujah, the 6'7" redshirt sophomore. By the way, he led the Hokies in scoring. Did you know that? 15.5 points per game last season, averaged 5.8 rebounds per game, shot 31.6% from three-point land. Woo! We got Lester Quiones, DJ Jeffries. Don't forget about my man Lance Thomas. I'm just going to tell you right now, I think DeAndre Williams is definitely going to, I realistically think he's going to join the team real soon. You got big boys like Musa Cisse, 6'10", 225 pounds. Malcolm Dandridge, 6'10", 235 pounds. Lance Thomas, 6'9", 225 pounds. Big, long, athletic. And if you get a 6'9", 200-pound DeAndre Williams, who's probably getting a little bit more beefy, baby, guy who can also put the ball in the hole. I love that. Don't forget Lester Quiones and Damian Ball and Boogie Ellis. We got Isaiah Stokes, Alex Lomax, DJ Jeffries. I'm telling you right now, Penny, 2021 Tigers. I can't believe that Landers Nolley II, once he got it, dude, I don't know about you, but did you, like, from all the stuff that's going on in the world, did that not just kind of give you a boost today and kind of add to a Friday and make you say, hell yeah?
That and your Magnum joke.
Yeah, that was very good. That's how I would sell it. So I hope people at Family Leisure and anybody who sells those things would make sure that you get your pool toys and your flotation devices. Speaking of that, I'm about to talk about a flotation device right now. But before I say that, remember Family Leisure, 2120 Witten Road, just north of I-40, and they give you the Family Leisure Studios. Now, it's time to do some Hardwood.
This is Access Hardwood.
Now, I've been talking about flotation devices. This little young lady was too young to have a noodle and make it. But if she was going to make it, only a Magnum could maybe make it in the seas this long. But this is one of those stories that if it wasn't real, again, I would not believe it. She's 3 years old, okay? 3 years old, people. Dude, she was just chilling. She was in a flotation device. If you watch the video, it's amazing. She was out in Greece, chilling, you know what I'm saying? And then all of a sudden, there's a, what do you call it, a riptide or whatever, and her parents are with her. I mean, they don't do anything, and it kind of like sucks the parents underwater real quick. So they have to swim to the bottom and then come up to basically save themselves. When they come up, guess what? No daughter. They had, and within 30 minutes, there was a helicopter flying. And the helicopter didn't think that she could get outside basically like a 5-mile zone. So they were looking for the young girl. This woman was 20 miles off the Greek coast when a ferry boat captain spotted the child. Couldn't believe it. Thought he was tripping, I'm sure. And all of a sudden, this 50-year-old captain, his name is Mr. Carnesis, his brother, also a Carnesis, saved the girl, but it's a 331-foot ferry, it holds 300 cars, 500 passengers, it's huge. And the one thing is, you got to think about this, a boat that big could just suck her up underneath it, chew her up like she's nothing.
It was like a unicorn
Yeah, she was the
flotation
unicorn.
device, too.
Have you seen the video? The unicorn
It is
flotation.
wild.
Dude, I'm telling you one thing. It's one of the most emotional things I've ever seen in my life. And the 50-year-old ferry, the captain, who's been doing this for years, knew the only way he could save the girl, and she might be scared, he had to actually circle her and make it almost like lake water instead of the rough seas. Then he lowered it down where the cars come down, had his brother, the only person he trusted enough, because if he didn't get her, she was going to get sucked up underneath the boat and die. Dude, he snatched her like you wouldn't believe, and they saved her life. And I'm telling you something, I needed that story. I needed that video. It is my favorite video and story of the Deadgum Day. And I can't imagine what her parents, like what they felt like when they found out, like they thought their daughter was gone. And to find out that somebody rescued her. And then I don't even know if I could watch could you watch the video?
Nah.
After hearing about it? Like, that's a pretty damn dramatic rescue.
Got saved, though.
She did get saved, but man, the way the dude had to snatch her up so she
Yeah.
could get going.
Know what else
Ooh.
brought my mood up?
What?
Did you see what Donovan Mitchell did?
No, tell me what Donovan Mitchell
Donovan
did.
Mitchell is taking $45,000 worth of shoe sales, and he is donating it and giving it to Jacob Blake's children. He has decided to do this. Obviously, Jacob Blake's still in the hospital, paralyzed from the waist down now because of the 7 shots in his back. But Donovan and his kids were in the car with him at that time. Donovan Mitchell has taken $45,000 worth of his sneaker sales, and he's going to give it to Jacob Blake's children.
The 3 children who were in the car, obviously.
And it's to support their education, is
Yep.
what
No, that's
he
just again
what he wants to do.
Classy move again by people out there. So thank you to Donovan Mitchell. That's pretty dope, obviously. Now there's been a whole lot of stuff like Kenny Smith, who walked off. He's definitely going to return to the inside the NBA set.
Naomi Osaka's returning to tennis.
I was getting ready to say, my girl, they basically paused the whole tournament for her. Did you notice that? Like, they were like, look, we ain't going on without you. You know what I mean? So that was, I think that's a very powerful statement in itself. Now, I do have to say something. Tom Brady's Bruce Arians. Do you think that his players are going to have to talk to him? Do you think he's going to get it? Did you see some of the stuff that he said after? Did you see any of the words at all?
As far as Tom Brady goes?
Basically everything that's going on.
I just saw that he says he's going to try to understand better.
He just said all this crap. I'm going to try to understand all this crap better. What I'm just trying to say is, let's just not, when you say that, you already put a negative connotation. You know what I mean by that? Say, I'm going to try and understand. Or I'm going to try to be a better person. Not just, this is tough. I'm just going to try to understand. You know what I'm saying? There's certain ways, and I'm finding out more and more. Yes, I am kind of vulgar. I say things that are probably way off the cuff, but words are powerful, and sometimes there is a time and place for everything, and especially right now when you're talking about that, I think you need to show a little more respect. So I'll just kind of leave it at that. Now, I also need to mention this. Dude, do you know who Derek Lewis is?
Of course I do. So
Bro.
he's the guy, he's the UFC fighter, heavyweight. He has the best post-fight interviews ever.
Have you seen what he survived?
It was an ATV accident.
Did you see that with his son?
Him and his son should be severely hurt,
my
but they're not.
goodness.
Thank God they're unscathed.
Now the watching the kid get saved on the little magic unicorn floaty is a beautiful thing. Watching this will give you a damn heart attack. Do you know what I'm saying?
Right. Like, because you think they're severely hurt. If you just saw the video, you would think it like.
You go back and watch in slow motion, and you still can't believe they made it unscathed. Like, I mean, there's bricks,
Like, not hurt.
everywhere.
Like, maybe bumps and bruises, that's
Like,
it.
Dude, he looks chill as, like, he looks like he's cool. And he's, like, looking around, like, you know what I mean? I'm just like, okay, this is one of those things, again, that it feels like it has to be a miracle. It should be on one of the, have you ever seen Strange Evidence? Oh, man, you're the one who gave me the History Channel.
Oh, are you talking? Is this History Channel After Dark? That I told you one time to go check it out, and you took it and ran with it.
Well, dude, when I'm bored at 12:30 and there's no more sports, I can't watch Scott Van Beese all night. I know what's happened.
You don't like Scott Van Pelt, do you?
I really don't.
Because you don't like his bad beat segment. That's the one
I hate
thing.
his. Well, you know what? Honestly,
Because you don't want to relive your worst bets ever.
Can I tell you something? That is honest to God the truth. When
I don't know. I love them. I think they're pretty funny.
When Stanford Steve and Scott Van Pelt.
Sometimes you have to laugh at yourself.
Dude, when I lose my money on beats like that, I usually can't just laugh it off. I have to go put it on the History Channel and forget about it and move on to the next day. It's just, for me, it's about moving it on. That's why I take those junts, I tear them up, and I put them in a box. Because I do keep all my losing tickets. God forbid the IRS ever comes for me. I got a stack of losers. Anyway, that will help you out if they ever try to make you sign a tax form, showing me a couple $1,000s worth of losers. Oh, okay, no, you're good. Little secret gambling tip for you. But by the way, I do have to say, with all the stuff that's going on, I'm proud of the fact that Derek Lewis is not only going to be able to walk away from this. I really do want everybody, because I'm going to finally retweet this out at Johnny_radio, because this is one of those things that I'm telling you, if this doesn't feel like a miracle to you, man, I don't even know what else does. But I also need to tell you this is very, very important. I'm proud of myself because I'm proud of y'all. I'm happy that I was asked to be a part of this. But do y'all know the Richard Coleman thing?
Of course.
You won't believe this, dude. Do you know current standings? He's number 1. Second is Jonathan Morgan. Third is Wade Wistan. He's first in miles. He's first in dollars right now. He was 5th place before I started mentioning this on the program. He's now in first place. Let's keep on donating. It's one of the coolest things ever again. All you have to do is go to GreatCycleChallenge.com. Richard's driving, he's riding his bike 564 miles to fight childhood cancer. I can't think of a better thing right now that's going. All you have to do is go to the GreatCycleChallenge.com. Again, Richard Coleman is my friend, somebody I respect. And again, this goes to St. Jude and all kinds of other, it fights all kinds of cancer research. And I'm just so proud that he went from 5th place when we brought him on to our listeners have helped pushed him all the way over the top.
Now he's number 1 on there and number 1 in our hearts.
And we got to keep him there.
We have to.
We got to keep him at number 1,
it's only right.
baby.
Shout out to Richard, though. That is just an awesome cause.
September 1st, he'll be here real
quick.
And
not to mention, this is a guy that's working hard for that cause. On a bike, going hard, putting his body there. Shouts out to Richard. Can't say enough about it.
Can't say enough. I honestly can't. I also have to say shout out to the, I can't believe I'm saying this, the NCAA. They got it right, at least in my opinion, because I'm a Tiger fan. Thank you so much, Landers Nolly II. Yes, he was the highest score for Vatek, but now he's a Tiger, baby, joining DJ and all these people. Dude, Musa, wait for Williams, man. I'm telling you, this Tiger team, when we get March Madness next year, you're going to be filling them in your bracket for a long, dead gum time. I'm about as happy as I've ever been in my life. Speaking of that, I want to remind you, if you're worried about your roof, don't worry anymore. All you have to do is go to Brian Elder. Serious as a heart attack, Brian Elder Roofing Solutions. You know why? BrianElderRoofing.com. You can just go check them out, get everything about them. You got Chris Price. He joined up with Brian Elder. They've created the best, basically the number 1 roofing company on planet Earth, in my opinion. They can measure your roof from outer space. All you have to do is call 901-867-0303. That's 901-867-0303. You give them a call, bing, bang, boom. Guess what? They're going to show up. Because it is a scary time. If you get water damage, oh my goodness, it's such a scary time. But I promise you one thing. If you call them, they'll send out a supervisor. He'll check your roof. He'll make sure everything gets taken care of. He'll contact your insurance company. He'll make sure you understand everything the entire time and along the way. They have warranties. They are the best. Commercial or residential, BrianElderRoofing.com. I'll be right back. Don't you dare touch that dial on Sports 56, 96.1, 87.7 FM.
It's R&R on Sports.
The word is out about R&R on Sports, where you've heard interviews from
Ken Griffith Jr., Dr. J, Hank Aaron, and many, many more.
R&R on Sports, Saturday mornings, 10 a.m., Sports 56, 87.7, and 96.1.
Don't miss us.
Save now on your 2021 swimming pool at Family Leisure. Buy now at 2020 pricing and save your spot for the first installation of 2021. Patio furniture 20 to 30% off. Play gyms in stock. Beat the heat with an indoor game table or slate pool table. Pool toys and floats up to 30% off. Family Leisure, Whit Road at I-40, where family and fun come together.
Family and fun come together.
I'm here with outstanding team from Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway. They're online at lexusofmemphis.com. Gary, tell everyone how they can experience the Lexus of Memphis satisfaction.
Come in and be a part of our family at Lexus of Memphis. Experience the customer service that we provide to each guest like a member of our own family. If you're on the side of the road and you need us, we're there. If you need help with anything with your car, technology, Bluetooth, the app suite, we have a dedicated team to help you with this in your journey with your Lexus.
That's how they do it at Lexus of Memphis.
Chad Gatlin is your Mid-South Farmers agent, and he's easy to find. Just go to memphisfarmers.com to get a fast quote or call his office at 901-237-1176. And during this wild time we're all facing, know Chad has you covered. Whether you need to file a claim, get a quote, or just talk about what he can do to give you the absolute best coverage at the best price. Chad is a Memphis man and knows the area and that everyone is different, and he will work to make sure you have everything you need and nothing you don't. Get a fast quote at memphisfarmers.com or call 901-235-1176.
I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. I Buy Houses. I Buy Houses will buy a house in any area, in any condition, and yes, it's guaranteed to close in 5 days. If you need to sell your home quickly, call 901-406-1101. If you've been through a divorce, if you lost your job, if you're tired of renters, I Buy Houses can get you your money quickly. I Buy Houses will buy your home in Shelby County, DeSoto County, Memphis, Bartlett, South Haven, Horn Lake, Olive Branch, anywhere and everywhere in between in any condition. And yes, they're open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. Grab that pen, 901-406-1101. I Buy Houses.
Now back to Johnny Radio's Happy Hour.
Let's go!
On Sports 56 and 87.7 FM. Here's your host, John Harden.
Many a hand has scaled the grand old face of the plateau. Some belong to strangers and some to folks you know. Holy Ghost and talk show hosts are planted in the sand to beautify the foothills, shake the many hands. There's nothing on the top but a bucket and a mop and an illustrated book about birds. You see a lot up there, but don't be scared. Who needs action when you got words?
Welcome back into a little Sports 56 Happy Hour. I'm your very good friend, Johnny Radio. You know my good buddy, Gabe Kuhn. Follow him at G_Kuhn71. Follow me at Johnny_Radio. And never forget to follow us at Sports 56 WHBQ, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, and, of course, Instagram. Don't forget, for all you people out there listening to us on AM 560, that's our original gangster. But we're on 2 FM channels, 87.7 FM and 96.1 FM. And another point I must make is, if you're a Tiger fan, you're feeling very good today. Landers Nolly, he is officially a Tiger. Tiger's looking good. I think Williams will be able to play. I mean, you got DJ, you got Boogie, you got Alo, you got Damian Ball, Lester Quinones. Heck, don't forget about Musa Cisse, Malcolm Dandridge. I don't even know how to explain it to you, but yes, I am fired up like a mug. But I have to tell you one thing is, there's also a couple people who are fired up. And I think it's the attorneys for the NFL and Roger Goodell and other owners. Have you heard about now, since 15 people have come out against, of course, Daniel Snyder, the dirty, dirty, dirty man for the Washington former Redskins, has basically...
How hard is it?
It's hard.
To train. I cannot train myself out of it. I can't call on the Washington football team.
It's Washington.
I make the mistake and then I change it.
I'm just like, you know, but here, I'll tell you one thing I won't ever change. Unequivocally, Daniel Snyder right now needs to either be put in jail, removed from his position as owner. People need to come out. Again, 25 former employees have come forward since the latest reporting. And if you don't know about the earlier reporting, 15 people made allegations about him and had to sign non-disclosure agreements about the sexual exploitation of how they were treated at their work, how they were basically it was just a frat house is the way they called it. They just weren't treated like human beings. Then it comes out that the 2008 swimsuit calendar shoot, that they found out that all the behind the scenes footage, all the stuff that had actually nude, like the cheerleaders actually nude, was sent to Daniel Snyder. Like, that's not a joke. Roger Goodell, there's a lot going on, and I understand you're a very busy man, but right now you have a cancer in Washington, and it's the owner, Daniel Snyder. You need to get this man out, and I mean as of, like, last year. The dude's already had, again, 25 former employees come forward. You've had people go out and basically admit to Washington Post reporters and police officers, and according to Beth Wilkerson, who's like the head whatever lawyer for Roger Goodell right now, that she talked to them, and they also corroborated their stories. So, do you need any more do you need any more investigation in all honesty than that? When you have 25 former employees come out, when you have 15 non-disclosures, when you have naked pictures of all the cheerleaders, when you've always been an a-hole because you're Daniel Deadgum Snyder, isn't it not time to get the bleep out? Like, am I crazy?
Like, is there a breaking point at this? Like, if he gets away with this and doesn't have to sell the team, when do you make it? Like, what would be enough to make him sell the team? That's the thing that I don't get. Is like, where, like, you have to draw the line here, right?
Dude,
you have to.
Here's what one employee says. Every day, without impunity, the minute he walked by, I knew there was going to be a routine of abusive females. He was always misogynistic. Sexual harassment was just a part of his breathing. Like, dude, that's not a very good description of the owner of the Washington, like the football team. Like, dude, there's only 32 of them. You're telling me that every time he walked by, that's how you actually felt? I don't know about you, but those are some of the worst, those are the worst words I've ever read in my life. That was a quote that was partaken from one person and talked about another. And this was also in civil and criminal. Like, there was a actual attorney. They were doing like libel stuff. So there's a video of this. I haven't seen it, but they have dropped the statements. And when you have somebody making an allegation like this and saying that he always threatened to do a hit job, like ruin your career, you'll never work in football, you'll never have a job. He would, like, another one says that if you don't sign this non-disclosure agreement, I'll have everybody that I know, I'm a billionaire, you'll have a hit job. There are so many things in this article that make your stomach turn. I'll have to say this. Ron Rivera can't save you. Changing the name of Washington can't save you. Daniel, you're a billionaire. Take your money and you better get your butt out of America. I'm telling you right now, move to a non-extradition country, because right now people want to beat the tar out of you. And every time I read something about you, you make my stomach hurt. Now, it is Friday, so my stomach's not going to hurt. And I'm not going to end on a nasty discussion like Daniel Snyder. I'm going to end on the fact that, man, I'm proud of baseball. It's Jackie Robinson Day. Jackie broke the color barrier. It was so long ago when you think about. But, we're at a different time today. But we have come far, but we got to go a lot farther. It's also the exact same day. Not only is it Jackie Robinson Day in baseball, which I'm so deadgum proud of, but again, I've mentioned it a little bit earlier. The March on Washington. Think about that. The March on Washington happened today. That's absolutely insane, at least in my personal opinion. And also the fact that Branch Rickey had a secret, conversation on August 28th. To get him to break the color barrier, Jackie Robinson, that is, and they got that stuff done. There's a lot to be proud about. MLB is going to celebrate Jackie Robinson today. They normally hold it on April 15th, but again, everybody, all 30 teams, there's 17 game schedules to play today. It's all going to be about Jackie Robinson. They're going to have his number, and that's something that makes me extremely proud. And again, it was August 28th, 1945. That Branch Rickey met with Jackie Robinson. And I don't know, that's just actually one of the coolest things. But the last thing I'm going to end on is 1945 was when Branch Rickey met with Jackie. But Jackie Robinson inspired a generation. I'd like to think that he helped inspire somebody like Martin Luther King. because the March on Washington happened today, August 28th, 1963. And the wonderful I Have a Dream speech from Martin Luther King Jr.'s mouth to the rest of the world. It happened literally on August 28th, 1963. It's August 28th, 2020. Where do we go from here? We're going to find out. But I'll tell you one thing. Landers Nolly is a tiger. Dave Woloshin is going to talk about it on the other side from 3 to 6 with Sports Time. But for Gabe Kuhn, I'm John Harden. Do me a favor. Get out there. Make the world a better place. I'll see y'all on the flip side. Peace.